Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Remember PearOS, that Linux distribution from the early 2010s that aimed to bring the sleek elegance of Apple's macOS to your everyday PC? It vanished after a few years, leaving fans wondering what could have been. Well, after a long hiatus, it's making a comeback. But is this revival a true rebirth that captures the original's charm, or just a faint echo? Today we are diving into a first look at the new PearOS to see if it still has that special touch. The legend returns. PearOS, Past and Promise. Let's start with a quick trip down memory lane. The original PearOS, developed by French creator David Tavares, debuted around 2011 as an Ubuntu-based distro with a heavily customized GNOME desktop. It was all about nailing that macOS aesthetic. Think clean icons, smooth layouts, and an intuitive feel that made Linux accessible to Apple fans. It built a cult following with releases up to version 8 in 2013. But then it was sold to an unnamed company and faded away. Attempts at revivals like Perl Linux or Clementine OS didn't stick, and the project seemed lost to history. Fast forward to late 2025, and Romanian developer Alexandru Balin has breathed new life into it with Pear OS NiceC0re. The excitement is palpable in the Linux community. Forums and reviews are buzzing about this unexpected return. We are setting the stage here for a hands-on exploration, fueled by that anticipation of whether it can blend nostalgia with modern usability. Let's start with the first impressions, the new PearOS unveiled. Booting up PearOS for the first time is a treat. The installation uses brand new electronic-based installer that's still in beta, so it's straightforward but might have a quirk or two, like needing a quick terminal tweak for time zone settings post-install. Once you're in, the boot sequence is quick, leading to a desktop that screams macOS inspiration. The default wallpaper and top menu bar give immediate visual nods to Apple's design with a pear-shaped menu icon instead of the apple. Navigating through the core apps like Peer Finder for file management or Launchpad style app grid and KRunner for spotlight searches feels familiar if you used macOS. Compared to my memories of the old PearOS, this version keeps the essence but updates it. Smoother animations, a liquid gel design for fluid interfaces, and elements like a redesigned dock that pop with subtle effects. It's not identical to the original GNOME-based setup. Now, it's KDE Plasma under the hood, which adds more customization options but deviates slightly in some workflows. Now, under the hood, technical deep dive and performance. Diving deeper, PearOS is now built on Arch Linux, making it a rolling release distro. Install once, update forever without major upgrades. This shift from Ubuntu brings implications. Rock solid stability if you're comfortable with Arch ecosystem, plus access to the vast AOR repository for software. It ships with the Linux kernel 6.17 and KDE Plasma 6.5.5, defaulting to Wayland for improved security and performance over X11. For benchmarks, I tested on a mid-range machine with an Intel i5, 16GB RAM and an SSD. Boot time clocked in around 20 to 25 seconds. App launches like Firefox were snappy under 2 seconds. And idle resource use hovered at about 1.2GB RAM and low CPU. On older hardware like a laptop with 5GB RAM, it still ran smoothly, handling web browsing and even local AI tasks without hiccups. Hardware compatibility is solid, with options for NVIDIA drivers right from the boot menu, though I stuck with open source ones for my setup. Compared to the original, this feels more performant thanks to modern KDE and Arch optimizations. But Arch's command line heavy updates might intimidate beginners. Now, daily driver potential, usability, and ecosystem. As a daily driver, PearOS shines for macOS fans switching to Linux. Common tasks like browsing with the new Teferi app, a Safari mimic, media playback via included players, and document editing with apps from KDE Discover, which supports Flatpak's flow intuitively. Installing software is beginner friendly through the graphical store, though Arch user will appreciate Pacman for more control. Usability extra include privacy bubble for mic or camera alerts, customizable trackpad gestures, and the Piri voice assistant for quick commands. No real AI, but handy for launching apps or system tweaks. Community support is growing with forums on DistroWatch and the developer site, plus Arch's massive resources. Future prospects look promising with plans for a custom Soda desktop environment and more refinements. Now, the verdict. Is PearOS a Phoenix or a faded memory? Wrapping up, PearOS pros include its stunning macOS-like aesthetics, smooth performance, and free access to a polished Linux experience on any hardware. About the cons, some unfinished features like placeholder apps and the Arch base might require more tinkering than the original Ubuntu setup. Overall, it recaptures much of the original's magic while evolving for today. Not just a shadow, but a vibrant Phoenix for style-conscious users. If you are intrigued, download it from the official site and give it a spin. Let me know in the comments what do you think. Does it live up to the hype? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Linux reviews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.